Welcome, everybody, and thanks for joining us in our prayer with you today. Although we've been doing this for a year and a half, we hope it's still nice for you to be with us, and we do think of you all very often, and you're always in our prayers. So I'll welcome the team. So I am Peggy, and next we have Anne.
Very happy to be with you. Hello, everyone.
And I'm Jane. Good to be here with you again. It always is good to be with you.
Hello, I'm Catherine. Good to be with you.
And I'm Ken, and I'm also very glad to be with you at this time.
Hi, I'm Judy. Hoping your day is going well.
And Judy, if you'd like to do the call of worship.
As we gather virtually, we acknowledge with gratitude the enduring and ongoing presence of Indigenous peoples connected to and on this land. We commit ourselves to a new relationship with Indigenous peoples based on honor and respect. May we walk gently together in grace and in peace.
This week we started, we wanted to focus on the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation, which will be on September the 30th. And that's what our posters focused on. So it's just been announced that the federal government will declare it a statutory holiday. And although some provinces are not recognizing it as a national holiday, we hope that everyone will do some kind of reflection or reading or just thinking about Indigenous peoples and our role in what the government has done and what we're going to do moving forward. The day to honor survivors of the residential schools, and also to really think about the ones who haven't come home. In the news recently, there's been a lot of talk about how many unmarked graves that we have found at the residential schools. And, although it was mentioned at the Truth and Reconciliation Commission back in 2015, it's now just coming to light. And, I think now people are just starting to listen, although it's been brought up a lot. So about this holiday, the government made the Truth and Reconciliation Commission did 94 calls to action, and making September 30th a national holiday was one of them. And that's taken, 6 years to do, but it is a step moving forward and it's being done.
Please join us if you'd like to sing along with our song here. Open our hearts, open our minds, open our lives to you, O loving God. Open our hearts, open our minds, open our lives to you, O loving God. Open our hearts. And what does the Lord require of you but to do justice and love kindness and to walk humbly with your God?
I'm going to down to a reading from Richard Wagame's Embers. I've been considering the phrase all my relations for some time now. It points to the truth that we are all related, that we are all connected, that we all belong to each other. The most important word is all. Not just those who look like me, sing like me, dance like me, speak like me, pray like me, or behave like me. All my relations. That means every rock, mineral, blade of grass, and creature. We live because everything else does. If we were to choose collectively to live that teaching, the energy of our change of consciousness would heal each of us and heal the planet.
So we'll just take a minute now as a team to reflect a little on what this means. What is one hope that we have for the establishment of this National Day for Truth and Reconciliation? There's something it brings to mind to you.
When I think about the possibility or the fact that this September 30th will be a statutory holiday, my hope is that it won't become simply yet another long weekend to stay at the cottage or to sleep in, that somehow it can be made a day where all of us really come together in this recognition somehow.
Yes, I agree with Catherine, and although I have mixed feelings about the fact that some provinces have not accepted the designation as holiday, I also have some sympathy. The parallel would be Remembrance Day, in which some provinces use this as an opportunity for education. So school is still in session, but there is a focus within school on the issues that are being raised. And so I hope this becomes an opportunity for education in all provinces, regardless of how they end up treating the day.
I hope that people will sort of begin to think about and know about truth and reconciliation. I think there's still lots of people who don't even know there was a commission or what's happening. And Ken and I heard a wonderful thing on the radio in the middle of a classical music show. The host said, and every show we're going to talk about one of the calls to action. And I thought, wow, that's amazing. And then he also talked about a wonderful CBC site called Beyond 94 that tracks the progress of the 94 calls to action. So I'm hoping for some awareness and some raising of consciousness and more action.
I also agree with what everybody's saying. And for example, my workplace, we actually do get the day off. However, there are a group of us, including my team, who are choosing not to have a day off, but a day to get together virtually and look at various materials and just spend the whole day learning together and really spending a good day together learning.
I draw hope from the youth, definitely from the Indigenous youth, there are many strong young Indigenous voices on climate change, a lot of Indigenous music by young Indigenous people coming into the mainstream. And also, as has already been mentioned, and I see this with my 8 grandkids, youth, non-Indigenous youth, learning often in school a lot about Indigenous history and culture, way more than I knew. And that really does give me a great deal of hope that in fact the calls to action, for example, that there will be insistence from the youth that these be implemented and at a much quicker rate than is happening now.
I don't have much to add to everything that's been said. I agree that it would be really an opportunity for people to learn, and I hope that people take that opportunity to learn about the calls to action, because I do think that there are still a lot of people who don't know about them, who maybe haven't read them, and it's wonderful. I heard the same CBC show where one call to action is read during every show, and that's been going on since July 1st of this year, since Canada Day. So, maybe on the day, it could be suggested that people read one a day themselves, starting on that day, and that it's not just, yeah, the hope would be that it's not just a day to focus on it, but that it engenders a continual process of learning every day.
So we now have our prayers of the people. So if we have something that's on our hearts, if we could briefly state it as we bring these people and situations into our hearts and into the hearts of others here.
Well, I'd like to pray for all of you at CAMH and all the staff at CAMH. And on our theme of today, I've been thinking about all of the people who are actively trying to preserve Indigenous knowledge and languages, and people who are on the front lines of the climate crisis from Indigenous communities. And yeah, just praying for all those who are working in Indigenous communities and trying to preserve knowledge before it gets lost and languages before they get lost.
Although sometimes it's a bit of a cliche to talk about world peace, this is the start of the World Week for Peace. And it's something we can't lose sight of. That's an objective, something we strive for and can only hope for in the future.
I'm thinking of us in Canada, as some of us have already voted, but we have voting day tomorrow. We record this service on the 19th of September, the day before voting day. So I'm hoping people can bring their hearts and minds to bear on the importance that we can vote and that we do vote, and we take care to select a candidate that we hope represents what we envision for Canada.
Thinking of the continued uncertainties due to COVID and the stresses on people as a result of that, holding all those people in my heart, and yeah, wishing them peace.
And I'm hoping that, with the way COVID is going, that the children and students can remain in school, because the numbers are rising inside the schools. And just hope we can kind of get a handle on it and everyone tries to stay positive as best we can.
Spirit of life, we offer these prayers that come from deep in our hearts. Open our hearts and minds to the reality of the colonial project in Canada and the harm that it's caused to Indigenous peoples and to the fabric of Canadian society. Strengthen our resolve to be a part of the recognition and healing of the wrongs that have happened. Help us to work to support the implementation of the 94 calls to action and create a new covenant of love, respect, equality, and justice with Indigenous peoples of Canada. Let's join together and say the prayer that Jesus taught us. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those that trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
This is a song that is quite repetitive, so you can join in if you, as you're able, as we go along, if you don't know it. I am walking a path of peace. I am walking a path of peace. I am walking a path of peace. Lead me home. Lead me home.
I am walking a path of hope. I am walking a path of hope. I am walking a path of hope. Lead me home. Lead me home.
I am walking a path of love. I am walking a path of love. I am walking a path of love. Lead me home. I am home.
May the blessings of God rest upon you. May God's peace abide with you. May God's presence illuminate your heart now and forevermore. So thank you everybody for joining us, and we hope you all have a good week. Take care.